Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another emotional and hard hitting episode of the Callous Mind livecast. In this episode, we're going to talk about NFL Week 13 pick results, revisiting Week 12 for one of those games, making picks for NFL Week 14. It's hard to believe we're already heading into Week 14 of the NFL season, and it's kind of been a disruptive one, considering you got these games being delayed or postponed because of COVID, and you got people going on COVID lists and stuff like that. And I know that I normally jump in with my pick results immediately, but I'm not going to do that this week. As always, live viewers are encouraged to participate in the show by commenting in the live chat, and viewers watching the replay are welcome to leave a comment in the comment section below. This week, I wanted to start this episode with a little Cardinals talk, actually. So we're still going to talk football, but it's not going to be right away with the picks. So let's see here. All right. So I wanted to talk about, more specifically, I wanted to talk about what I'd heard on the radio yesterday. Yesterday, Monday, December 7th, I was listening to Burns and Gambo in the afternoon. And for those who may not be from Arizona or are familiar with this, guys, this is an afternoon radio show on FM 98.7. They used to be on the AM station. They've since moved over to 98.7 FM, and they have a companion website for this station, which is Arizona Sports. And so you can see that on your screen right now. And I'm not going to read Bickley's article here, but I just want to kind of touch on what Gambo and Burns were talking about yesterday. So, Burns and Gambo were speculating on whether or not Kyler Murray is hurt. And admittedly, I did not listen to their entire show, but I do have an addendum to add to their speculation. And my addendum would be simply this: if Kyler Murray is hurt and is trying to play through injury, is he hurting the team more than he's helping the team? That's my question. We all know football is a team sport, and you would think an important player would prefer to see his team win, even if it means another player is filling his position. At what point does a player trying to play through an injury become a liability to his team? Because at whatever point that is, I gotta believe we're kind of there with Kyler. I mean, it's so funny, listening to radio shows and stuff like that, because one week they're talking about, the Cardinals lost, and it's not the end of the world, and anybody who thought the Cardinals were going to win the rest of their games, that's out the window. I can tell you that right now. And then, a couple weeks later, they're like, oh my God, the sky is falling. Is Kyler Murray the answer to this team? Is Cliff Kingsbury the answer at coach? What needs to be done? Does something need to be done? So on and so forth. But my biggest problem with all this is, now, we know from recent history that Kyler was hurt and that he was limited in practice. And my question is that injury still lingering, and is it affecting his ability to both throw the ball with velocity and place the ball? Because the reality is those are two very, very important things for a quarterback. And if you can't do that at 100%, and you're not running the ball because you're afraid you're going to aggravate your shoulder injury even more, then perhaps it's time to put somebody else back there who can at least throw the ball at 100%. That's kind of all I'm going to say about that. And you guys can obviously, let me know what you think in the comment section below. But it's just quite irritating that where at this point, I don't necessarily believe that the sky is falling or anything like that, but I do think that the Cardinals can be in serious trouble if they don't get the ship righted. So I think it's time to stop messing around and either get to winning or maybe get to trying something else, being another quarterback back there. That's just my own personal opinion. So without further ado, we will jump into Week 13 picks with an addendum, of course, because we still have a game that is due to be played tonight, and that game is the Baltimore Ravens game. So if we scroll down here, we can see that we still got the Cowboys and Ravens set for tonight, a little Tuesday night football. Okay, so I'm going to kind of work a little backwards here because normally I get to Monday Night Football last, but since we still have that Tuesday night game that I just mentioned, I'm going to start with the results from this week's Monday Night Football games, as in more than one, as in plural, as in two. So, surprisingly enough, I am, or really unsurprisingly enough, I am eating my own words here, as I said last week that I didn't think Washington was the team to go into Pittsburgh and win. And lo and behold, Washington goes into Pittsburgh and wins. So I had the Steelers in that game. That's a loss for me, but it's kind of cool to see a somewhat downtrodden NFC East team fighting to at least be respectable in their own division, going into Pittsburgh and winning. So that was looked like an old school heavyweight scuffle right there. And Washington, the visitors, come out on the winning end, so good for Washington. They slayed the unbeaten dragon. Next game last night was Buffalo Bills and San Francisco 49ers. That game was played here in Arizona at State Farm Stadium. And the Bills, as I picked, did win that game. San Francisco kind of had me a little nervous in the early going of the game, but that's kind of the way these NFL games have been, because there was a lot of games on Sunday that made me nervous for a while too, until they ended up righting themselves. So next game on the list, we're going to start with the Sunday slate of games, which I had picked the Atlanta Falcons to win at home against the Saints, and they were not able to pull that off, so that was an L for me. Lions at Bears. I did pick the Lions, and I know probably much to the dismay of Adam, I'm sure that game pissed him off, and it probably should have. But the Lions did go into Soldier Field and win, even if it was handed to him by a Mitchell Trubisky fumble. But anyway, that was another win for me. Then Browns at Titans. I got to say, man, wow. Cleveland looked absolutely dynamite in this game, and I didn't take them in this game. I took Tennessee, so that was a loss for me. But it's nice to see the Browns kind of go on the road and explode and get a very important win as far as playoff standings go. So congratulations to the Browns, but that was a loss for me. Next game up was Bengals and Dolphins, and I took the Dolphins at home, and I was right to do so. As Joe Burrow, is still lost, and I don't know what kind of offense the Bengals can muster going forward anyway, but Miami won. Not ridiculously convincingly, but they won, and that's all that matters. This game right here, Jacksonville and Minnesota, that game made me incredibly nervous. Because, well, I mean, look, it went to overtime. Come on now. But I did get that win, so the Vikings win, and this game right here, we must hoist the colors. Hoist the colors, ladies and gentlemen. The Raiders win. Thank God. That's all I can say about that. Let's see, I must have forgot my shortcut key here. Yeah, there we go. I did. There it is. Hoist the colors. The Raiders win. But oh man, that game had me incredibly nervous, and that game may have just cost the Jets defensive coordinator his job because he was fired after that game. But thankfully, the Raiders win, and they keep their ever dwindling playoff hopes alive. So I'm happy as far as that goes. But yeah, that was a white knuckler for sure, a sphincter tightening game, and wow, Adam was almost right. Next game up was Colts and Texans, and I picked the Indianapolis Colts. But the reality is that game is probably a lot closer than it should have been. But that's life in the NFL. The Colts got the win, so did I, and that's cool. Next game up, Rams and Cardinals. Oh, dear Lord. I've already talked a little bit about the Cardinals' struggles in this video early on. Don't really understand what's going on exactly, but the Cardinals need to get their stuff together, because if they don't, they will not make the playoffs. And I had already said last week that my hope for either the Raiders or the Cardinals making the playoffs was already starting to dwindle. And the Raiders barely beat the damn Jets, and the Cardinals got shellacked by the Rams, who, for whatever reason, the Rams seem to be the Cardinals' kryptonite. I mean, they haven't beat them in like forever, so they still have to play them one more time this season, and I really hope that they can change stuff up, because, man, I'm getting absolutely freaking sick and tired of seeing the Cardinals lose to the Rams, especially when the Rams had just lost to the damn 49ers the week before that. So give me a freaking break. Next up, Giants and Seahawks. This is pretty surprising. Not that the Giants were competitive, or not that the Giants won, but that they went on the road to Seattle and won. So that game was another loss for me, because I had picked Seattle at home against the Giants. Eagles and Packers. That's not really a big surprise there. Packers win at home, and they keep on rolling and are now 9-3. And then I must have been smoking dope when I made this pick of the Chargers beating the Patriots, but I did take the Chargers, and the Patriots won quite convincingly. So that was another loss for me. And then finally, the last Sunday game, the Sunday night game, was Chiefs and Broncos, and that game was probably a lot closer than it should have been. The Broncos, an AFC West rival of the Kansas City Chiefs, gave them hell, but the Chiefs won, and they're continuing to show the mental fortitude of a champion. So kudos to the Chiefs. And that wraps the NFL Week 13 picks with 8 wins and 6 losses, and still one game remaining to happen tonight. So give me 1 second, and I will get us to the Week 13 pick results, because I actually have quite a few stories to go over today as well. So okay. Black screen. Why is that not showing here? Huh. That's strange. Okay. Well, I don't know why all of a sudden that's not wanting to work. Let me try this again here. Wow, that is really, really strange. I don't know what in the world is going on. Perhaps I turned off my display capture. Yeah, I did. There it is. Okay. All right, so NFL Week 14 picks. Those start on Thursday night, December 10th. New England at Los Angeles Rams. Um, I honestly don't know what to make of the Rams because they're here and there. They lost to the 49ers, then they beat the Cardinals. Now they play the New England Patriots, and I do believe the Rams can beat this year's Patriots for sure. So I will go ahead and take the Los Angeles Rams over the New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football. And starting on Sunday, first game up, Houston at Chicago. It's very, very rare that a team from the West goes east, especially a dome team, from a controlled environment to a cold environment and wins. So, as much as I don't have a ton of faith in Chicago, I do believe they can get it done against Houston at home in the cold. So, I will take the Chicago Bears over the Houston Texans. Dallas Cowboys at Cincinnati Bengals. This is kind of a really, really crap game to pick because the Cowboys have let me down so many times. But I actually, you have to pick one or the other. So I'm picking Dallas, and maybe Andy Dalton wants to go back and stick it to his former team. So I'll take the Cowboys on the road at Cincinnati. Next up will be Kansas City and Miami. I think Miami will probably play Kansas City tough, and the reality is that if the Raiders were able to beat Kansas City, then Miami probably is too. So I will, but I got to go with a team who just keeps on winning, and that's Kansas City. They're ridiculous. So I'll take Kansas City on the road at Miami. Arizona Cardinals at New York Giants. I just said on the first pick of this Sunday stuff, a West team going east, playing in a cold environment, out of their controlled environment. I should probably go with the New York Giants in this game, but I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I'm giving the Arizona Cardinals the benefit of the doubt one more time. So I will take the Cardinals at the New York Giants in this game. Next up, Minnesota at Tampa Bay. The reality is that both of these teams are kind of fighting for their playoff lives. I think Tampa Bay is a little more secure with their playoff position than Minnesota is. Minnesota's fighting like hell, still trying to get in. So with that motivation at their back, I will take Minnesota to go on the road and win at Tampa. Denver at Carolina. I don't really know what to make of Denver. There's times, they were just competitive against the Chiefs. So I could see them going on the road to Carolina and winning, but I'm going to go ahead and give Carolina the benefit of the doubt, and I will take Carolina at home against Denver, and then Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is still playing tough, man. They're not winning games, but they're playing tough, and I could easily see them winning this game at home, quite honestly. But I will give Tennessee the benefit of the doubt, and I will take Tennessee on the road at Jacksonville. Indianapolis at Las Vegas. The Raiders are still fighting for a playoff spot, as is Indianapolis. But I got to go. I'm a homer. I got to go with my team, and that happens to be the Las Vegas Raiders. So I will take the Raiders at home against the Colts. And then the New York Jets at Seattle Seahawks. Man, you know what? This is a really tough game because the Jets, they just come out that they're still playing hard. They just played the Raiders hard and probably in all likelihood should have won that game, but they did not. Seattle just lost at home, and it's not something that they do frequently at home, let alone consecutive losses at home. So given that fact, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks at home against the New York Jets. Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions. I'm going to take Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay is like Detroit's kryptonite for sure, and if they can't win in regulation, they usually wait until the last 5 seconds to throw a Hail Mary, and I'll take Green Bay, and I think they win easily within regulation. So I'll take the Packers at the Detroit Lions. New Orleans Saints at Philadelphia Eagles. I think Drew Brees is getting close to coming back, but once again, I don't envy a dome team traveling east to play in the cold this time of year. That's not usually going to be a good thing, but I don't necessarily trust Philly, and I believe they'll be starting Jalen Hurts in that game. So we'll see if he's a shot in the arm to Philadelphia. But I'm gonna go. I got to take the New Orleans Saints on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles. Atlanta at Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, I believe, just got shut out last weekend by the Patriots. I think the Falcons can go on the road to Los Angeles and beat the Chargers. So I will take the Falcons on the road to do just that. Washington football team at San Francisco 49ers. Man, this game just got that much more interesting because here Washington, don't sleep on Washington just yet. They may end up winning that NFC East. So I'll take. I think Washington just got more to play for than the 49ers do, and this is another game that's going to be here in Arizona. So I will take the Washington football team to win against the San Francisco 49ers. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. That should probably be a really, really intense game, especially Pittsburgh coming off their first loss of the season, and Buffalo playing at home. I almost want to pick the Buffalo Bills in this game, but I don't know if Pittsburgh is going to lose 2 in a row, so I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road to defeat the Buffalo Bills. And then Baltimore at Cleveland for Monday Night Football. I tell you what, this is a tough game for me to pick. And I may be sorry. I may be drinking the Cleveland Kool-Aid from this previous weekend because they went on the road and they looked good. So I'm really hoping that they can do the same thing this time, but this time do it at home against the Ravens. So I will take the Cleveland Browns, the new current Cleveland Browns, against the old Cleveland Browns, the team now known as the Baltimore Ravens. So I'll take the Cleveland Browns at home against the Baltimore Ravens. And that concludes the Week 14 picks. So let's see how I do. All right, let's get to first story. I talked about this story when it happened on my show. I don't know what episode it was. I should probably know stuff like that, but I don't happen to know what the episode was. But if you guys remember, Tyrod Taylor's lung was punctured by a doctor, and this story comes from December 2nd. Tyrod Taylor won't file grievance versus Los Angeles Chargers, source says. Tyrod Taylor has decided not to file a grievance against the Los Angeles Chargers or a team doctor who punctured the quarterback's lung before a game this season. Taylor lost his starting role in Week 2 after a team doctor accidentally punctured his lung while giving him a pain-killing injection prior to that week's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Good Lord. Man, I guess I hope it was worth it. That's all I can say. That's crazy talk. The injection was intended to help relieve the pain from 2 cracked ribs that Taylor suffered in Week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, looks like he will not be filing a grievance. So that's kind of cool. And let's see here. In other football news, Michigan legislators asked Detroit Lions owner Sheila Ford Hamp to hire Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. So this from December 4th. A group of Michigan state legislators have sent a letter to Detroit Lions owner Sheila Ford Hamp urging her to hire San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as the team's next head coach. Saleh, a native of Dearborn, Michigan, grew up in the state, played college football there, and his family has long football ties to Michigan State and the state's football history. So that'd be pretty cool, but I almost feel like that wouldn't be good as his first NFL head coaching job. Maybe he needs to go somewhere else and fail first, and then get a job here, and he'd be better off. I mean, when you think about Bill Belichick, didn't he fail with the Cleveland Browns before he ever succeeded with the New England Patriots after running out on the New York Jets? Man, I'm sure those Jets fans still wonder what the hell happened, man. It's like, we were all set to have Bill Belichick as our head coach, and that could have been us winning all those titles, but instead it's the Patriots, a bitter division rival. Let's see here. Bear with me one second here while I pull up some more of these stories. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Edinburgh High School removed Texas playoffs player slams ref. So there was actually a video with it the first time I saw this. So let me see if that's still on there or not. But yeah, it is. He just runs out and tags this guy. So hang on one second. I'll play that for you guys, and then we'll get into talking about some NBA basketball. Alright, so you guys have got to see this video, and this is on ESPN. I actually don't think that this is their video, so I'm not going to worry about copyright restrictions on this particular one. So I just want to... Alright, so you guys should be seeing my screen now. So watch, let's check this out here. Watch this ref right here. Watch him. See, let me turn on my desktop audio. So I actually don't even know if there is any audio with it or not, but I'll go ahead and turn it on real quick in case there is. And oh, he just stuck that dude, man. Just blindsided homie. That is crazy. Let's watch that again here. Check it out. Boom! Man, he just lit dude up, son. That is just not cool at all. So the story is Edinburgh High School player facing assault charge for knocking over ref. Team removed from Texas football playoffs. And this was from December 4th. A Texas high school football team has been removed from the playoffs as one of its players faces an assault charge for running onto the field and knocking down a referee. On Thursday, Edinburgh High School senior defensive lineman Emmanuel Duran slammed into referee Fred Gracia after Gracia announced Duran had been ejected from the game. According to the Monitor of McAllen, Duran was ejected after he received back-to-back unsportsmanlike conduct penalties when he shoved an opposing offensive lineman to the ground, attempted to tackle the quarterback after the whistle had blown the play dead, and exchanged words with the 58-year-old Gracia. On Friday, Duran, who was escorted from the stadium by police officers, was charged with Class A assault. He posted his $10,000 bond and was released from county jail Friday evening, according to jail records. The incident occurred in the first half of Edinburgh's 35-21 playoff victory. Despite the win, the team's season is over. So there you go. Your bad sportsmanship not only cost you in that game, but it cost your entire team the game in which they won. So please, everybody, have a little better control of yourself. That's all I can say about that. As Mrs. Middleton used to always say, she would say, set the example, don't be the example. And if Adam's listening, he may remember her. So, all right, now to some NBA news. Yes. I wanted to show more about this and go into a much bigger rant on this particular story. Because LeBron James is often heard talking about oppression and systematic racism, and I just wanted to highlight this story. Agent LeBron James, Lakers agreed to 2-year, $85 million extension. So, if this is systematic racism or oppression, then you can give me $85 million anytime you like. This from December 2nd. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year, $85 million contract extension. His agent Rich Paul of Clutch Sports Group told ESPN and multiple outlets Wednesday. James, who turns 36 later this month, averaged 25.3 points last season and led the NBA in assists with 10.2 per game. He will be 38 when the contract ends. This extension will take James through the 2022-2023 season, giving him 20 seasons in the NBA. So, if we look a little further down here, it says James is now set to make $39.2 million in 2020-2021. $41,180,544 in 21-22, and $44,474,988 in 22-23. His career earnings from his NBA contracts will approach $435 million by the end of this extension. Lord have mercy. That is a lot of damn money earned in a systematically racist and oppressive country. But there you go, my man. All right, next up in NBA news, Houston Rockets, Washington Wizards agree to Russell Westbrook and John Wall trade. See, I need to make sure I'm not echoing over here, so let me turn that desktop audio back off there. All right. This was from December 2nd as well. The Washington Wizards and Houston Rockets have agreed to trade two disgruntled star point guards, John Wall and Russell Westbrook, in a blockbuster deal the team announces Wednesday. The Wizards are sending Wall and a lottery-protected 2023 first-round NBA draft pick to the Rockets for Westbrook in a deal that both players wanted and had been simmering for weeks. The 2023 first-round pick is lottery protected for the Wizards. If it doesn't convey in that year, it has a succession of protections that include picks numbers 1 through 12 in 2024, picks 1 through 10 in 2025, and picks 1 through 8 in 2026, sources said. If it hasn't conveyed as a first-round pick to Houston by 2026. It becomes a second-round pick in each of 26 and 27. So that's a pretty cool story. I guess Russ wasn't happy playing in Houston with James Harden. So that's sad, but is what it is, and not that great of a surprise necessarily. All right, I want to talk about one baseball story here that I found, and then a UFC story. So bear with me 1 second here, and I'll bring up those other stories. As always, all these stories will be linked in the description box below this video, as I always like to pay attribution to where I receive this information and make sure that people know the source, because I don't want them to think that I come up with this stuff myself or that I steal this stuff. And I don't. I'm just creatively borrowing it. So alright, so bear with me here. So this was a sad story from yesterday. Dick Allen, 7-time Major League Baseball All-Star, dies at 78. So, and this guy was actually before my time, but I just wanted to highlight this anyway. Dick Allen, a fearsome hitter who was a 7-time All-Star, the 1964 NL Rookie of the Year, and the 1972 AL MVP, has died. He was 78. The Philadelphia Phillies, the team Allen started out with, announced his death on Monday. So the Phillies said in a statement, "The Phillies are heartbroken over the passing today of our dear friend and co-worker, Dick Allen. Dick will be remembered as not just one of the greatest and most popular players in our franchise's history, but also as a courageous warrior who had to overcome far too many obstacles to reach the level he did. Dick's iconic status will resonate for generations of baseball fans to come as one of the all-time greats to play America's pastime. He is now reunited with his beloved daughter, Terry. The Phillies extend their condolences to Dick's widow, Wyla, his family, friends, and all of his fans from coast to coast." So, and then here's the White Sox had also sent out a tweet. The White Sox send our condolences to the family and friends of 7-time All-Star and 1972 AL MVP Dick Allen, who passed away today. So, Allen's number 15 was retired by the Phillies in September, an honor that was considered long overdue by many for one of the franchise's greatest players who fought against racism during a tumultuous period with the team in the 1960s. So, I'd like to send my condolences to his family as well. And let's wrap up the story part of stuff anyway with the UFC. Oh wow, I didn't even shift gears yet here. Pull that up here. Volkanovski has on track for a Ortega title defense, but has a move to lightweight in his mind. So this is interesting. Alexander Volkanovski is tracking towards his second UFC featherweight world title defense, yet there is a greater goal bubbling away under the surface for the 32-year-old Australian, a move up to lightweight. And while that would always be entertaining, now if Khabib stays retired, then the lightweight division is a lot more open than it once was, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm big on that. This guy moving up, he seems to be a pretty good fighter, but I don't know, man. That lightweight division is just freaking stacked, so I don't know if we really need somebody else in there or not, but I guess whatever you want to do, man. Whatever brings the glory for you, you know. Let's check out some comments here. No comments. I guess Adam's not watching today, so that's too bad. It's disappointing. Well, I hope y'all's football picks are going better than mine, and I hope the month of December is treating you well. I know, depending on where you're watching this from, you could be in a state that's locked down or not. Thankfully, I'm in Arizona and we are not locked down here, and I thank my lucky stars every freaking day because this stuff is just getting ridiculously old. But I, ask all of you to please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other, and please be sure to join me next week, next Tuesday again, as we'll get together and we'll talk about similar stuff here. And for any of those who did watch live, I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to spend it with me on this Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. And I ask that you join me again next week, next Tuesday, December 15th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And until then, please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other. And I will talk to you beautiful people later. So